Imagine, if you will, that you just arrive at the office for your night shift, and all of a sudden, you find yourself confronting what you had never expected. Is it that the boss arrived earlier that day and found that you were late? Nope. Maybe your wife found out that you were cheating on her with your work colleague. Not close at all. But wait, what is it? I don't even work in an office, neither am I married. Remember when I told you to imagine? Yeah, use your last 2 brain cells for that. Anyways, imagine you find yourself confronting something that looks nothing like a human right behind a window. Okay, what is so scary about such encounter? It could easily be just an animal. Well, what would an animal be doing there in the first place? Plus, that thing we are talking about has an oval shape, and it's so dark and without details. Please don't tell me this is another one of your corny jokes about male private parts. No, it isn't. Then what the heck are you talking about? What is it that you're describing? I myself have no idea what the thing was or how it could be described. And the strangest part is that its eye can glow in the dark as well. That's why I have the title on your screen. You may think that it's some sort of animal, but it wasn't. And the fact that the room where it appears seems to have no way out just makes this whole scene a bit more scary. I can't really explain what this man has witnessed, but if I have to be in his position and find myself in the middle of such situation, I may just sign my resignation contract and leave it at the desk. Usually, whenever I see someone who is dealing with paranormal activity inside his house and can't seem to solve the issue, no matter what options he chooses to work on solving the situation, I always recommend they leave the place or burn it down for good. The second option might seem a bit over the top and aggressive, but you might be stunned to know that sometimes these situations may escalate to the point where the house burns itself down. Or so it may seem, because depending on how you think of it, the explanations may vary. Long story short, you see, burning a property you own is never a good choice to consider, no matter what the circumstances are. But what if you didn't actually do that, but rather they did? Who are they who could do such a horrible thing? Tax collectors, or the grocery store owner whom I told that I would pay you what I owed you and that I was never to be seen again? In both situations, that might be logic, but I'm referring to the jinn. Yes, fellas. Next, in the upcoming video, we have Meguro, a man who was called by Nakano on the phone. Not using carrier pigeons, because that would be too dramatic. He was called to investigate his house, as he has doubts about the possibility of the items he collects being cursed. What kind of items? Like decoration statues, it's like pottery items. He wants the guy to verify whether these things are actually haunted or not. What kind of invitation is that? And since you have already told us that his property was burned down, Nakano sent Meguro to meet his fate. That man should be arrested. I told you before to never jump to conclusions. The place was burned down, and they say it was due to an electric leak. Or so they say, because Nakano suspects it was accidentally caused by the cursed items. These items were seen in a paranormal action. The doll was caught moving its eyelid, the dog statue's head broke, and the lady doll statue was flipped. The man was running back to his room in the clip because, according to the transcript, he was trying to take his camera, which was given to him by his grandpa, and he valued it, so he was trying to salvage what remains of it. I have always had the thought that if the room is very tiny and you can barely fit anything in it beside a bed, then it could never be scary, and I stood my ground against anyone who thought I was ridiculous and had so many arguments with people who didn't agree with me, but I never came out of it safe because I'm not so kind when it comes to those who come against my ideas and morals. But here's the thing, no one ever bothered to even talk to me, so these arguments only took place in my room when I'm alone, between me and myself. But here's the thing, the next video may have just changed my mind, so if it didn't take a fully mature person to try and change my mind, it only took a simple video. The context goes something like this: female hotel manager, and it is good for her to be holding that position. I'm so proud of her for some reason. She was called by her staff about an incident that has been happening to many guests in room number 30. Are they running out of water while showering? Well, I don't even know if there is enough space in that room to have a toilet to begin with. But answering your question, no, that isn't the problem. It's far more sinister and intimidating. They have reported paranormal activities taking place in there. Even one went as far as claiming that he encountered a person in there, despite it being empty. And he wanted us, the viewers, with an IQ above average, to believe these claims of his. The manager told him that is impossible, as she has vacated and ventilated the room, and it has not been occupied by anyone. So how dare he come up with such lies? She decided to investigate behind these reports herself, and oh boy, that terrifying face by the window was screaming terror. The manager ventured inside after the encounter but found nothing. Not long after, a loud noise sent her screaming for life.
Irma me dijo que se veía una persona en la habitación 30. Y le dije, no, y me dice, ¿está ocupada? Le digo, no, se desocupó en la mañana. Y no hay nadie, yo misma fui a ventilar esa habitación. Y ahorita que voy pasando por acá me doy cuenta que sí es cierto, se ve como que si alguien se estuviera asomando en la ventana. Vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa, vamos a ver qué hay ahí, pero se supone que no hay nada. Y sigue ahí viéndose. Aquí más cerquita. Sí, miren, ahí se alcanza a ver una cara, unos ojos. Vamos a ver a esa habitación. Estamos subiendo las escaleras porque desde ahí es donde estábamos viendo que se veía. Aquí ya no se ve nada, a lo mejor por el reflejo de la luz. Y vamos a ver en la habitación. Aquí está la cama, porque esta es una habitación pequeña. Aquí pues no se ve nada. Y aquí está la tele, donde estábamos, donde se supone que se veía, pero no se ve nada. No entiendo por qué se ve. ¡Ay! Irma me dijo que
It's said by the person from whom I took the clips, who also translated the video, that after digging into these videos and doing some research, they found that an elderly lady had passed away in that room, and her face matches the face of the apparition. I never knew that ghosts could have good voice tones. I have heard some unexplained voices in my house before, like that one incident that happened to me twice, where I heard my father calling me from the bathroom, even though he wasn't at home that day. It was such a terrifying experience, but before I dig deeper into my experiences and you find yourself lost in the conversation, let's cut this short and get straight into it. We can't proceed into marriage. I think we can't stick together anymore. And that's what I should have said that day, but when it comes to Nicole, not my ex, but rather the owner of the next house, it's a completely different story. Nicole lives with her daughter in this regular-looking house, or so it seems. But wait. Yes, my boy. What happened to the father? I don't know, maybe he is the ghost. Nicole said she has been experiencing paranormal activity in her house for the past several years, particularly for the past 2 years. But she isn't alone on that, as her daughter also went as far as drawing some tall, dark figure as an impression of what she has been seeing in the house. You know crap is getting serious when your little daughter starts drawing weird stuff that looks unsettling, and for some reason, daughters does that more often than boys. The mother also claimed to have encountered shadow figures, orbs, and such. So Josh, Rocky, and Sean accepted the challenge and went on investigating. Josh was the main protagonist here, as he seems to be the one making contact with the ghost the most out of the three. He was to put his life on the line to save Nicole's family. Maybe I over-exaggerated there, but staying in the room where most of the activity is claimed to have taken place alone and interacting with these spirits, taking on the sudden change of temperature, the physical pressure, the weird sounds, and immediate responses from these ghosts, and still being able to chill is screaming courage. Also, tapping sounds like knocks and footsteps were heard earlier into the investigation, but the clearer were at the end, when Josh was alone. He was even called by unexplained voices that were too clear to begin with. These ghosts could be of the musical kind.
My name is Josh. This is Rocky and Sean. If there's anyone in here with us, we've got this equipment that you could talk to us. Can you hear us, yes or no?
Are we walking back here?
That's where they've seen the dark shadow down this hall. If you're in here, please give us a sign of your presence.
Who's the male that we keep talking to? Can you give me your name?
The frick is that?
I have no idea.
Is that like something like tapping on a glass or something?
Yeah. Do you talk to Nicole? Did you touch Josh or do something to his knee?
Yeah.
Where I can't, like, keep my legs still.
The hell was that?
They're here.
Oh.
Who's here?
Says mother's restless.
How her right legs are restless and stuff like that.
Oh, I thought I heard a woman.
That's freaking crazy.
There is.
And in this picture, the person in the back is really tall. I know there's even, you can put wards on this. Something out there. That knocking again. If you're over by the closet, hit something really hard. Whoa. Right there. Is there something in the closet that you want? What the hell was that? I'm not sure how much more I can take of this. It's like every time that thing I start hearing it off to the left. What the hell was that? It's like a cold breeze that just shoots right by me.
Tube. Ceiling.
Well,
It's coming.
Yeah, okay, I believe you. I believe something's coming. That's why I'm out. Okay. Keep talking.
Why are you here? I'm scared. It's outside, watching you.
If you are able to, please give us a message. Why you're here. That was so loud. Are you back in this hallway?
path. Meet at end.
Follow path, meet at the end. Okay. Where you at? No way.
Feel my caring presence.
What is your name?
Eternally bright.
What the freak?
Over there.
Can I see you?
I thought the voice shouting at the end was coming from outside, because I didn't assume such clarity could be heard, especially on camera, but since I personally had a similar experience, I couldn't doubt this. You know, it was a bit difficult to find the right way to call that thing that we hang our clothes on to dry. I know it's called a cloth line, but I was referring to the stand type. A lot of people call it differently, but I think calling it a cloth drying stand rack is the perfect way to describe it. What is this? Is this a video for 3-year-olds that explains the pronunciation of different objects? No, but this will play a big role in the next clip. How can a drying stand for cloth play an important role in a paranormal video? Is the person recording the incidents in a situation where the ghost hung them on these stands while he was sleeping? Don't be ridiculous, these stands can't hold a person, they are not that strong. Speaking of, the lady in the next video is called Rosanna. She moved into a new house, but not only that, she just bought the freaking thing. Why do you seem so surprised by her purchasing the place? Well, when you know what she has been going through ever since moving in, you will be just as surprised. She barely settled in, and here comes old Uncle Ghost Tommy knocking at her door. The only problem is that he was already all over the house, so he didn't even need to knock at any door. They were all open for him to shut. And he never disappointed, as he was frequently messing with the doors, shutting them while Rosanna was watching the terrifying activities before her eyes. She has a son, and she couldn't let him stay with her due to the hauntings, so she sent him to stay with his father. I'm not sure why they didn't move together, but it seems like they might be divorced. If the situation wasn't bad enough, doors shutting, toys moving, loud sounds of knocks, and remember the cloth drying stand rack. She has one of these in one of the rooms, which moved right towards her out of nowhere. She tried different methods to clear the property from its hauntings, but nothing seems to work out.
Okay.
She stayed in a hotel before the priest arrived at her house, and he came short. So he wasn't what she was expecting. Was he like 5'4"? I meant he came short. In other words, he couldn't solve the issue. Risana herself tried with the Quran, but the house is still haunted. I'm not sure if she is a Muslim or if she is just trying everything she can. But if the situation is intense, there could be a hidden mystery behind the land where the house is built, or maybe some hidden sorcery. It could also be that you haven't subscribed or watched the next video on screen.